Hello everybody and welcome to this month's DIY Crafternoon. This month we are making punched tin garden markers. I think they turned out pretty cute. If you were able to pick up a kit from the library before today, in your kit you would have gotten a pretty large piece of aluminum foil. Well, it's not aluminum foil, but it's aluminum. And then you would have gotten 6 dowels. So some of you might have gotten these shorter dowels and some of you might have gotten these longer dowels. Just needed to use up whatever dowels I had. And then you would have gotten the instruction kit as well. The instructions for the kit as well. We do have one left at the information desk if you want to run down and get it. We do have one left. So the kit should provide you with enough materials to make 6 garden markers. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. A couple of things that you're going to need to gather from your house: a scissors, either a small saw or this serrated knife worked pretty good. Something to just kind of cut a notch in the top of your dowel. A Phillips head screwdriver or something to punch your aluminum with. This worked perfectly. And then a washable marker or just a plain old marker, but not a permanent marker. We're going to use this to write our word on our aluminum, and then it's just going to wipe off. So you might want to grab a Kleenex. I forgot to grab that, but I'll just use my hand. So then once you have all your supplies, you're going to take your piece of aluminum and you're going to cut it to the size of the word that you are going to punch into your aluminum. So I made this one longer because it's tomatoes and that's kind of a longer word. But today, for my example, I'm going to do carrots. So carrots isn't quite as long. So what I would recommend you doing actually is writing it out first. So I already have a piece that I had cut out from my other sample that I made. So I'm just going to write it on here and then I'm going to cut it to size. You could write it out on your large piece of aluminum and then cut it. So I try and make it look a little fancy. I don't have the best handwriting in the world, so I kind of have to take my time in order to make it look nice. And today my marker isn't working as well as it was the other day. And if you kind of press down, obviously you're going to press down when you're writing. It does also make like an indentation into the aluminum. It's nice and soft, this aluminum. So you can probably wipe your marker off right away, even before you start punching. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. Carrots. So I left a little bit on the end over here, so I'm going to try and leave the same amount on the end over here so it looks nice and even. And you can just cut the aluminum with a general scissors. You don't need any kind of special tools to cut it. Okay. And I'm actually going to trim a little bit off of the bottom because it's not quite even with the top. Okay, so now we're ready to punch. Now make sure that you have something pretty stiff or cushy to punch on. I'm using my calendar because you don't want to damage the surface that you're punching on. So I don't want to damage my table. I don't want to damage my counter. I want to make sure that I keep that safe. So grab anything, a stiff piece of cardboard would work. You're not punching that hard, but you still could punch hard enough to damage. So you're going to take what I said. I used a Phillips screwdriver, but you could use like a little awl maybe, or even like, depending on how big you want your punches to be. I think this is a good size. It's up to you, but I think the Phillips head screwdriver worked really good. So now I'm just going to follow the word that I wrote and just make my punches pretty close together all the way around my first letter, which is a C. And I think it looks best if you put them nice and close together instead of spread far apart. If you spread the punches too far apart, you're not going to be able to read the letter. So yep, you just punch it right into the aluminum. And then kind of take a look at it and see if it is to your liking. And if you really goof up one, I'm sure this piece of aluminum that I gave you, you probably have enough for more than 6. So if you really goof one up, you could always just toss that one and start over with a new one. So there it is, carrots. My one R, the stem went a little low, but that's okay. So then now that I have my little sign, I'm just leaving mine plain. And you can actually, oh, look at that. I can fix it. So that stem was a little too long. I just turned it over and punched it back. So now it's perfect. And then my purple marker wasn't working so great, so I don't have much to wipe off here. You can leave it plain like this, or if you wanted to, you could paint it. I think that could look really cute. If you do paint it and put it outside, you're going to also want to spray it with a sealer so that any water wouldn't ruin the paint job. And then finally, we need to take our dowel. Please be careful. And you kind of, you saw a little bit back and forth on the top. It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky. But then eventually you can kind of just push it down enough that you'll create a little divot for your sign to go into. And if you wanted to, for a little extra added strength, you could do a dab of like maybe a waterproof Mod Podge, or like a super glue, or like an E3000 glue if you really wanted to keep it from moving, because mine moves a little bit. That way it would keep it in the little divot a little better. But you want to make sure it's a waterproof glue if you're putting these outside, because otherwise it's not going to do much good. So like hot glue probably wouldn't be the best. This takes a little bit. This is the patience part. Okay, so I finally got it. And there you go. It may take a little time to get that dowel cut, but other than that, this is pretty quick and easy peasy. And it looks super cute. And it'll look really cute in your garden this year. So that is it. Simple, easy peasy, except again for the dowel. So I hope you have fun making your garden markers. Again, I said there's like one kit left if you still haven't gotten your kit. Next month's DIY Crafternoon is the second Wednesday in June, as always, and the kits are available the first Wednesday in June. And we will be doing wine cork trivets. So they're really cute, and we're going to use up some wine corks we got donated here at the library. Thank you to whoever donated those. And again, like I said, the kits will be available the first Wednesday in June at the information desk, and the Facebook instruction will be the second Wednesday in June. So I hope you guys have fun making your garden markers, and I will see you next month.